Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're venturing into some incredibly unsettling territory, really peeling back the layers of human connection.
Yeah, to reveal a colder, much more calculated side of things.
Exactly. We're not here today to talk about, the sweet romantic side of love, not at all.
No.
Instead, we're going to dissect how desire, affection, maybe even what we think is love can actually be, well, meticulously engineered.
Constructed almost.
Right. And our guide for this deep dive is a pretty stark and sober text. It's titled, maybe fittingly, The Art of Psychological Seduction. A warning.
A warning. That word is key here, I think.
Absolutely. Our mission here is really crucial.
Yeah.
We need to break down the specific psychological mechanisms described in this material. We need to understand them.
And understand them not as, like, innocent romantic gestures.
No, definitely not. The text itself calls them weapons, unflinchingly.
Which is chilling in itself.
It really is. And let me be super clear. This isn't about learning how to use these tactics. Absolutely not.
No, this is about awareness. Defense, almost.
Exactly. Gaining awareness to recognize these dynamics, these often manipulative dynamics, when they're at play. Whether it's happening to you or you see it happening around you, it's critical.
What's truly fascinating and maybe disturbing about this material is how it just systematically strips away the whole romantic ideal.
Yeah, it just lays bare this chillingly calculated approach, making someone fall in love.
It argues that sincerity, well, that's not enough. You have to deliberately construct the emotional scaffolding of desire. That's the phrase it uses.
Construct the scaffolding. Wow.
And it makes this really stark assertion right from the start that love, in this context, can be more often a trap than a gift.
The trap.
Doesn't mince words at all.
Yeah.
It's very clinical about these techniques, suggesting that attraction isn't always spontaneous,
Yeah.
It can be a deliberate construction.
And it lays out these three core pillars for this psychological seduction, each one building on the last.
Mhm.
First, appear to be an object of desire. Second, create a need by stirring discontent. And third, master the art of insinuation.
Quite the roadmap.
It is. And as we go through each one, we'll keep coming back to the risks, the ethical weight that the text itself actually highlights. It's a sobering journey for sure.
Definitely. But important, I think, offers insight into vulnerabilities we might not even know we have.
Okay, let's unpack this unsettling reality then.
Let's do it.
So we start with the first principle, the foundation, really. Appear to be an object of desire. And this is mostly about creating what the text calls triangles.
Triangles, okay.
Now you'd think maybe the secret to being desired is just being attractive or charismatic,
Yeah, the obvious stuff.
But the source throws a curveball. It suggests the real power isn't necessarily the person themselves, but the perception of competition.
Ah, okay. So it's about how others see you or who else might want you.
Exactly. The core idea is simple, but really impactful. People desire what others desire. It taps right into social proof.
Right, that fundamental human thing. If everyone else wants it, it must be valuable.
Precisely. It suggests that when others see you as valuable, like a prize, your desirability just elevates. It gives this vivid example, the man at the party surrounded by beautiful women versus the guy standing alone.
Yeah, that makes intuitive sense. The surrounded guy seems like he has something the other one doesn't, even if you don't know what it is yet.
Right. It creates instant intrigue.
And stepping back, this connects to bigger psychological triggers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you said, social proof, but maybe also scarcity. If you seem desired by others, you seem less available.
That's a great point. Yeah.
The material argues pretty directly that competition ignites fire in the pursuit of love. It's wired into us.
So if others seem to want you, it plants this little seed of doubt in the target's mind, like, why don't I want them if everyone else does?
Or conversely, what am I missing if I don't feel that pull? It creates a sort of cognitive dissonance. She starts questioning her own judgment if it doesn't align with the perceived consensus.
Your value isn't something you just claim anymore. It's something the world, or at least the immediate social environment, confirms for you.
It's a shortcut, almost. A primal one. Bypasses some of the rational assessment.
And the text gets really specific, really subtle about how to build the triangle without looking desperate, because it warns that desperation just repels.
Yeah, that makes sense. Neediness isn't attractive in this context.
So the key is to imply admirers never flaunt them, like mentioning offhand that someone asked for your number casually.
Right, like it was almost an inconvenience. Not a big deal.
Or maybe orchestrating a moment where she sees another woman touch your arm just a second longer than necessary. A little flicker of perceived intimacy.
Planting a visual cue. Subtle but effective, maybe?
It even advises talking about exes. Not bragging, though, with calm respect.
Implying you've been loved well before. That you are someone capable of being desired long-term. And maybe still are, a little bit.
Exactly. Past desirability resonating into the present.
Okay, but this brings up a really important question for us, doesn't it? What does this mean for love?
How so?
Well, if winning someone becomes less about a genuine connection and more about a source of pride, a challenge her ego feels compelled to conquer.
Ah, I see. The motivation changes.
Yeah. The material claims that by subtly positioning herself in this perceived contest, she starts attaching herself to you emotionally without even realizing it. Just by trying to prove her own worth, her own desirability.
So she becomes the third point in an emotional triangle subconsciously. And her pursuit is fueled, maybe even primarily, by the desire to win.
That's what the text suggests. It's less about you and more about winning you from others, real or implied.
That's pretty chilling when you think about attraction being engineered that way,
Yeah.
through competition.
It is. But okay, let's say that works. That initial pull is there. You're seen as this desirable prize. What's next in this playbook?
Right. Well, the source then dives into the second principle, and frankly, this one feels even more unsettling. It's called create a need by stirring discontent. This is about disrupting someone's inner peace, creating a deep need that supposedly only you can satisfy.
Wow. Okay. Stirring discontent.
And the text has this truly chilling claim here. It says, seduction does not thrive in balance. It thrives in imbalance, in the ache of something missing.
Imbalance.
Yeah.
Satisfaction kills attraction then, in this model.
That's exactly what it suggests. A truly content, self-assured person. Well, they won't need you in the way this manipulation intends.
So the goal, chillingly, is to awaken some kind of ache, to subtly reveal hidden doubts she might have.
Not about breaking her down completely, the text is careful to say that.
Right, not overt cruelty.
But about stirring questions. Questions she might not have even considered about her own life, her fulfillment. Does she feel truly seen? Is she really valued?
Making her feel like something isn't quite right in her world, and then positioning yourself as the answer.
Exactly. The potential solution to this vague underlying sense of incompleteness you've just subtly highlighted.
It's really preying on universal human vulnerabilities, isn't it? Who doesn't sometimes wonder if they're truly understood?
Absolutely. And the text describes this technique it calls the emotional mirror.
Okay.
It's about speaking to her deeper self, maybe the unexpressed parts, avoiding just surface compliments. Instead, you reflect her potential loneliness, maybe her weariness with routine, her yearning for something more.
So you're kind of amplifying those latent feelings.
Yeah. And it gives some very direct, very unsettling examples of questions you might ask to plant this discomfort. Imagine asking someone,
Go on.
do you ever feel like people don't really get you? Or don't you ever wonder what your life would be like if you made different choices?
Oof. Those hit close to home for a lot of people.
Right. And maybe the most insidious one, has anyone ever made you feel really seen?
Wow. That one's powerful.
And the material stresses, these questions don't even need answers. They're designed to just plant discomfort, to echo in her mind later, create the subtle internal struggle.
A struggle she then looks to resolve. And conveniently.
You're right there. Once the discomfort is sown, the strategy is to step forward as the solution. You become what the material calls the emotional drug.
An emotional drug, that's dark.
It is. The source advises, basically, when she feels low, you lift her up. When she doubts herself, you offer subtle, maybe seemingly genuine praise, reinforcing a self-worth you just implicitly questioned.
So you create the wobble, then you steady her.
Exactly. When she's tired of routine, you introduce spontaneity, excitement. The whole aim is to make her believe her inner peace depends on your presence.
Making you seem like emotional oxygen.
Wow. Making someone dependent. It's really unsettling when you break it down.
The material even concludes, darkly. It began not with passion, but with pain. A pain you revealed and then soothed.
Yeah. That line is something else.
This is a very calculated process, isn't it? Create a void, then fill it yourself. Almost like cultivating an emotional addiction.
A truly disturbing progression. Creating a problem, then presenting yourself as the only cure. Which brings us neatly to the third part.
Okay.
And this is perhaps the most delicate and maybe the most dangerous part of this whole thing. Mastering the art of insinuation.
Insinuation. So, less direct now.
Completely. Directness is abandoned for ambiguity. The source states it plainly. The less you say, the more she wonders. And the more she wonders, the deeper she falls.
Ah, the power of mystery.
Exactly. Insinuation, as described here, is all suggestion, not assertion. It's designed to make her think about you constantly without knowing why.
So you don't say, I like you, or are you interested?
Never. Instead, you drop hints like shadows, things that settle in her subconscious, creating an enigma she feels compelled to solve.
Can you give some examples from the text?
Sure. Like, saying something intriguing. Maybe, there's something about you that's dangerous. I like it. And then immediately brushing it off. Ah, just kidding.
Leaving her wondering, was he kidding? What did he mean by dangerous?
Exactly. Or looking at her just a bit longer than necessary, letting the gaze linger, then shifting away before she can react or question it. Creates unspoken intensity.
That's subtle.
Another one is talking about someone else who reminds you of her, but you never quite clarify how. Forces her mind to fill in the blanks, usually in a flattering way.
Right. These subtle threads just enter her mind, almost sneakily. The text says it makes her obsessed with decoding you.
And in doing that decoding, she becomes more and more emotionally tethered to you. She's replaying moments, assigning meaning, getting entangled in the mystery you created.
It's like giving her homework about you that she doesn't realize she's doing.
That's a good way to put it. The text also describes creating a sublanguage.
A sublanguage.
Yeah, like a private, emotional world built on layered communication. Hidden meaning is just between the two of you.
How's that work?
It means saying bold things, then retracting them immediately. Like, I probably shouldn't say this, but you're distracting. Forget I said that.
Oh, that's good. It plants the idea, but gives you plausible deniability and makes her feel special, like she got a glimpse of something hidden.
Precisely. Or mixing flirtation with totally mundane conversation, blurring the lines constantly. Did you sleep well? Not that I was thinking about you or anything.
Again, playful, but planting a seed.
And maybe even apologizing for saying too much right after saying very little, like, sorry, I get weird around you.
Yeah.
Creates this sense of shared vulnerability or a secret dynamic.
It builds intimacy, or the illusion of it, through confusion and ambiguity.
Exactly. It's all designed to create this sense of shared hidden meaning, a dynamic where she feels uniquely connected to your inner thoughts, even when they're frustratingly vague.
And the true genius of this, the text argues, the real goal, is that she will believe she fell for you on her own. She'll never suspect she was led there.
Because you never actually said the big things directly.
Exactly. The text is stark. Because she never heard you say, I love you. She felt it. And feelings that seem to come from within, feelings she thinks she discovered. Those are powerful.
More powerful than just being told something.
Much more powerful and self-sustaining. The material claims obsession grows not with certainty, but with emotional mystery. She thinks of you when she's alone, misses you without quite knowing why.
Dreams about you, maybe, even without explicit promises.
Right. It's a self-perpetuating cycle of emotional investment born entirely out of that uncertainty you've carefully cultivated.
So if someone follows these dark paths correctly, the source claims they've built these 3 powerful mechanisms inside someone's heart.
Let's recap them.
Okay. First, she wants you because others seem to. Social proof, competition, fear of missing out.
Right. The desirability triangle.
Second, she needs you because you've subtly stirred her own discontent, her pain maybe, and then positioned yourself as the unique source of comfort or solution.
The emotional drug. Creating and filling the need.
And third, she can't stop thinking about you because you've mastered ambiguity, insinuation, leaving her constantly questioning, obsessing over the mystery.
The enigma.
And the text describes how these forces combine. They create a self-feeding loop. It says, the more she desires you, the more she needs you.
Makes sense.
The more she needs you, the more she questions what you feel.
Because of the insinuation?
Right. And the more she questions you, the more she desires to understand you, which feeds back into desire.
Wow. It's like a closed circuit of engineered emotion.
And at the very center of this manufactured storm, the source claims is you, the architect of it all.
Okay, zooming out a bit then. After laying all this out, the text gives a final warning, doesn't it?
It does, and it's unsparing. It says quite directly, this is not a game for the weak-willed or the emotionally careless.
Doesn't sound like light reading.
Not at all. It calls these strategies emotional explosives and warns that using them without real empathy can cause ruin.
Ruin.
It says the awakened heart, the one you've manipulated. It will either shatter under the weight of all this engineered intensity,
Wow.
or it will learn to hate you once the manipulation is revealed, or maybe just sensed over time.
So the potential blowback is huge.
Immense. The source really emphasizes that once you awaken these powerful emotions, you become profoundly responsible for what happens next, for what that person feels.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? These tactics might work, in a narrow sense, to get a specific outcome.
But the consequences...
The consequences are potentially devastating to the person targeted, and maybe even to the person using them.
And that leads right into the material's final concluding statement, the ultimate caution, really.
What does it say?
Make no mistake, this works. But it works too well, and some fires, once lit, cannot be extinguished.
Wow. That's heavy.
It is, and it reiterates that ethical weight, that responsibility we just talked about. Only use these methods if you genuinely intend to honor the heart you're awakening.
To handle the intense emotions you've deliberately ignited with care.
Yeah. It's a really stark, really somber reminder of the power involved in understanding and potentially manipulating human psychology.
Sobering is definitely the right word.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close then, let's circle back to where we started. That initial warning,
Yeah.
understanding these mechanisms is it's paramount, not to use them, never to use them, but to recognize them.
To be vigilant against them.
Exactly. Whether they're being subtly used on you or you maybe see these patterns playing out in relationships around you.
The insights from this text, The Art of Psychological Seduction, a warning. They're powerful precisely because they strip away the assumptions.
Yeah, assumptions about spontaneous, genuine attraction, revealing this calculated, almost cold method of influence that can exist.
And that really raises a final, maybe provocative question for you listening to this. If love, or at least what can masquerade as love, can be so intricately engineered, so deliberately constructed using these psychological levers, what does that truly say about the nature of genuine connection?
That's a deep question.
And what responsibility do we bear once we become aware of these powerful, potentially destructive tools of influence in our own lives, in how we interact?
It forces you to think about authenticity, about consent, about what's real when feelings can potentially be built like this.
Exactly. Leaves you to ponder the true meaning of it all when such calculated emotional scaffolding can be erected around someone's heart.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into what the source calls the darker corners of human
Which
psychology.
we've been illuminating, if unsettling.
Definitely. We encourage you, our listener, to really consider the implications of what you've heard today and to stay vigilant, always, in your own understanding of attraction, connection, and influence.